A lot of rumors circulating lately that Deandre Jordan could be on his way out of LA via a trade, given the Clippers' current injury situation, and it seems that their season could be going south pretty quickly. And because of Deandre's impending free agency, a player option after this season, it could make sense for the Clippers to want to get some assets rather than have him walk away after this season if he chooses to decline that player option. And a few basketball people who I respect would say that he is going to decline that player option, so we'll have to see. As far as Deandre the player, I mean, defense, athleticism, alley-oop target, offensive rebounds. He's the type of center that a lot of NBA teams would want in today's game. And if we look at some of the teams that are in the rumors, the first one is the Washington Wizards, a team who has a star-studded backcourt but still needs to improve everywhere else. There is the Milwaukee Bucks, where you have Giannis soaring to new heights, and the team around him is a little slower than that. The Toronto Raptors, who have been one of the better teams in the NBA for a few seasons, but have not been able to enter the elite categories. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, where it seems no matter what they do, their young guys still do not play defense. So let's just start with the Washington Wizards. John Wall makes everyone around him better. Might be the best passer in the NBA today. Practically lives over 10 assists a game at this point. And the pick and roll and alley-oop combinations that he and Deandre Jordan could have together, those could be pretty special. And that could be one of the more fun destinations for Deandre Jordan. A couple things though. Number one, Marcin Gortat has built up a very good relationship with John Wall in the pick and roll. And ideally you would want him to be the backup, but given that he only has 2 years left on his contract, maybe the Clippers would rather take him instead of Jan Mahimi. It has to be one of these two in the move, because that's the only way that the salaries would work, unless you got a third team involved. And, I mean, the Wizards would love to give up Mahimi and a pick, or maybe even 2 picks for Deandre, but Mahimi's got a longer contract than Gortat, so I don't know how the Clippers are going to feel about that one. The other potential trade piece would be Kelly Oubre Jr. I assume the Clippers would want some actual talent back in this move. I would not want to give up Oubre if I'm the Wizards. He's been great for them. Him with the starting lineup instead of Marcus Morris with the starters has been one of the best lineups in the NBA. So while the Wizards could potentially go for Deandre, there might have to be a sentimental loss with Marcin Gortat as well as some draft picks being exchanged. For the Milwaukee Bucks, it seems that to get the deal done, they would have to give up potentially Chris Middleton. I like Deandre Jordan. I would not make that move if I was Milwaukee. I think Middleton is too valuable for them as a second scorer next to Giannis, a three-point shooter, a multi-position defensive player. Even if in a vacuum Deandre might be a better player than Middleton, I just don't think it's enough of a disparity to make that move. And then if we go to Malcolm Brogdon, I mean, he is almost as old as Giannis. He's a great fit next to the star player. And, I mean, ultimately with Milwaukee, I think just getting a new head coach over Jason Kidd is probably the way to go. I think this team and these two guys, Middleton and Brogdon, are just too valuable to be traded for Deandre Jordan. If we go to the Toronto Raptors, question with them is how willing are they to give up some of these young guys to be as good as possible right now? Because if they wanted to make a move for Deandre, they might have to give up some young pieces. Now defensively, they could definitely use him because that's kind of been their problem the past few seasons, is they've never really been able to crack the top 10 on defense. Well, Jakob Poeltl is one of those young players I'm talking about. He might not be the most exciting center in the world, but he grabs rebounds, seems like he can be a good rim protector, and a team-first kind of a guy who I would want if I was the Clippers. There's Pascal Siakam, who is way more athletic of a big man and seems to be growing into the type of 4 that a lot of NBA teams want. I think I might just hang on to him if I was the Raptors, though, honestly. And then there's OG Anunoby, who is a 3-and-D rookie who seems like he could grow offensively as his career goes along. The Raptors are probably going to have to give up at least one of these guys in a trade for Deandre, especially because they're not going to have their first-round pick this season, so that makes it less likely for them to move picks in the future. They would also have to put Jonas Valanciunas in this trade, just to make the money work. I wouldn't really love taking him on if I was the Clippers, given how long his contract is going to go on for. So there would definitely need to be some push and some pull from both teams. The Raptors giving up a young guy and the Clippers taking on a multi-year contract. But ultimately, maybe it does happen if Masai Ujiri just really wants to go all in on winning. Now, if we head to the Minnesota Timberwolves, I mean, the offense should be fine. You acquire Jimmy Butler and Jeff Teague to go with Wiggins and Towns. You just need more guys on this team who are not about scoring and more about doing the little things. Gorgie Dang would maybe have to be in the move. He is on a very long contract for the T-Wolves. His contract is up after 2021, so that would be an instant no if I was the Clippers. I would be more open to Taj Gibson, who's up after next season, and he doesn't make much less money than Gorgie Dang. So you might have to get a third team involved because there's still about $8 or $9 million between Gibson and Deandre's contracts, but that would be the start. Unfortunately, I might rather want to keep Taj for his talents over Gorgie Dang. As for young players, there's Tyus Jones, there is Marcus Georges Hunt, and there is also Justin Patton, who is a center who has not been able to play yet for Minnesota. So ultimately, among these teams, if I was the Clippers, what would I want? I would be going most for some of the Raptors' young guys. If I could get Pirtle and Anunoby, then I would be ecstatic on that one. Because even if I wouldn't be getting draft picks, I'd be getting two guys who I could feel good about in the future. My gut feeling, I think among these teams, the Wizards have the best chance because they have all of their draft picks moving forward, whereas all the other teams here have some sort of protection on their future picks, which can cause some complications. Deandre is still good, man, and I do have a feeling he can age kind of gracefully given his athleticism and lack of injuries. Hopefully he ends up somewhere good, because he's fun to watch.